The following show is for mature audiences only. Shy City Sports.
Watch the tape, and when you see the tape, you know the tape doesn't lie, and the tape doesn't lie.
The same thing that we've seen for 3 years. Championship level defense. Defense that consistently shows up and good enough, and the offense just doesn't get it done. The fourth down that Mitchell Trubisky does not sell out for. I have no idea how he doesn't try and dive to go get that. The offensive line lacking in protection, not having a great plan versus the pass rush for New Orleans. Interesting numbers, okay, with Matt Nagy. In the 3 years of him as their head coach, he's coached 50 games. They've scored one touchdown or less 18 times. The final straw. Chicago, you got into the playoffs and made it a conversation, but you answered it yesterday. It's time to move on.
But I'm with Dan. Look, I've never been a big fan of this Nagy guy. And quite honestly, it's because of the way he handled the Trubisky thing. Mm-hmm. He put everything on him. I mean, he's the guy they blame everything on. Well, why don't you look at yourself first, man? I mean, dude, you scored 3 points in this game. I mean, I know it's 9, but no, it was 3 points.
Right.
And quite honestly, you're an offensive guru. That's why you came here. And those stats that Himbo just put up and Dan talked about, that's not acceptable. And hey, you've gone to the playoffs, 2 out of the last 3 years. Congratulations. That's because the NFC is a hell of a lot weaker than the AFC. Look at this. Your guy at Northwestern, Chicago kid, that fits better. This guy, I mean, I don't like him. I don't like the way he doesn't take every damn bullet for him. That's your job as a head coach. You don't make your quarterback take every bullet. You take the dang bullets, and that's why I don't respect about this guy.
Ryan and Matt are men of character. They are both, like Ted, outstanding leaders. I've been most impressed with how well they collaborate.
You lost because your coach sucks.
I'm telling you, this game of football is determined by determination, pride, the love of the game.
The Tape Never Lies Network, home of the greatest Chicago Bears fans on earth.
Hey, what's going on? It's Mark Grody, Chicago Bears sideline reporter, and you are listening to Shane and Phil on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Hey guys, it's your boy, the Superback Sean Sierra from Sports Zone Chicago, and I'm listening to my guys on the Tape Never Lies Network.
I'm JJ Stankovitz, and I'm keeping it 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network.
This is Brett Maley of History Channel's Pawn Stars, and you're listening to my favorite Bears fans, Shane, Phil, and Claudio. They're keeping it real on the Tape Never Lies Network.
Well, this is Lawrence Funk from Funk Barbershop, Chicago barbershop and barber to the Chicago Bears. I'm here with my boy Phil. Claudio.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
I'm so excited for this, and I'll tell you what, after the game, I'm going to be on with my guys, Phil and Shane, from the Tape Never Lies Network.
Yo, this is Big Steve Edwards, former Chicago Bear, offensive guard, offensive tackle. You're listening to my boys, Shane and Phil, on the Tape Never Lies Network. They're always keeping it 100.
This is Only Truth with my boys on the Tape Never Lies Network, keeping it 100.
You're watching Keeping It 100 with Draft Dr. Phil Atoshin and Shane, the smartest man, Marsaw, plus Claudio, the barber. Stay tuned for more Keeping It 100 right here on ShyCitySports.com and the Tape Never Lies Network.
Hey, what about me? Don't nerds count?
Draft Dr. Phil and the smartest man.
Keeping it 100.
There we are, Shane.
We're back.
We're back on a Monday night. The great Martin Luther King, Dr. Martin Luther King Day, a celebration of compassion, empathy, and humanity. That is where we are. And we are going to have some fun tonight talking quarterback quandary. Quarterback quandary that is the Chicago Bears. Shane, you saw in the open there a lot of hype. Obviously, Connecticut boy there, Orlovsky, both of them throwing gas on the flames of the Chicago Bears. Rex Ryan, whose father, Buddy Ryan, I mean, this guy was a ball boy with the Bears. His life is surrounding. You're seeing them throw gas on this organization. Then I finish it off with George McCaskey and Shane. I'm still bothered by his words and what he's trying to sell this fan base in regards to Ryan and Matt. That quote right there, he's going, if you're a fan of this network, tonight we're doing two things. We're breaking down the quarterbacks, and this is a pop-up show to show you what being a patron is going to be about. This is what we're going to be doing. Pop-up shows, right? Being
even for the non-patrons like Greg Bragg's there.
He doesn't support us. He doesn't even, he steals our ideas and fucking runs off and does it on his own. Thanks, Greg.
Should be outside shoveling, not watching our show.
Shovel your fucking grass. Exactly. But anyway, this is a showcase show for those of you that haven't become patrons like Greg. This is what you're going to be getting all off season. And today we're going to be focusing in on the quarterback position as well as addressing some of these things, because right now, as the off season kicks off, there's not going to be a better place covering it than right here with the guests that we're going to have, as well as the analysis and the laughs and the parodies and the music and everything else that you see. And we're going to have some great guests. What's up, guys? I see you in the chat. The chat is fired up tonight. Obviously, not real big promotion on today's, but just getting you knowing, unlike Claudio, who's a producer on this network, that we aren't going anywhere in the offseason. In fact, Shane, real quick before we kick this off, I got to tell this story. I was reached out by somebody who's a season ticket holder, and they got a phone call immediately after the presser, Shane. Check. Shocker. Giving a feeler of how you feel, and really they've never, quote, been called unless they were invited by, to an event. So they're feeling out what the thing is, and to this person's credit, keeping it 100. I'm not going to name the person. They said they kept it 100. I'm very disappointed and disheartened by the direction, number one. But number two, most importantly, how condescending you were, not only to us, but to the fans in what your plan is going forward.
That's usually my job.
Exactly. So, hey, my goal tonight, as I carry through, you see me on Facebook and Instagram. That's where I do my talking, as well as here. I'm going to tell you all off season, we have to rise up together. I will not purchase not one freaking Chicago Bears item until Ted Phillips is fired. 100%. I won't buy a ticket. I will, if someone gives me the ticket, I will go. If somebody gives me a gift, I'm going to wear it. That's the only way, Shane. I will not pay one nickel towards the Chicago Bears going forward with Ted Phillips there until he's fired. I need everybody doing the same thing. This is the only way they're going to hear us. And the number two thing, obviously, is pushing for our guy Olin Kreutz. As you saw, he was a guest on this show, to take over as president of football operation, restructure the whole thing. Don't tell me he's not ready. We're going to have a whole offseason to talk about why Olin, why.
Yeah,
Olin.
I don't think it's that so much that he's not ready, Phil. I just think he's I think he's not ready because of his family obligations.
No,
I
he's
think that's
giving me the thumbs up. So don't worry about the family stuff. I cleared that up. So I'm pushing for Olin, obviously for the Hall of Fame, which he deserves, but I'm looking at the cross, and I'm just seeing across how this fan base and how this administration handles things. That's who I'm pushing for. You could push for whoever you want, but I know with this guy, obviously we're gonna have a whole off season to talk about it, but that's where I'm going.
all right. And not even to venture too far off of what the point of the show is tonight, Phil. You said, you talked about throwing gas on the fire. That's a Chicago Bears staple. They have this inferno in front of them, and they're pouring gas on it themselves, and they turn around to the fans and said, well, can you help us put this fire out? Just give us some more money, and then we'll put the fire out. It doesn't work that way. You can't fix the quarterback issue. You can't fix the quarterback dilemma if you refuse to address it year after year after year after year. And this is what we're going to get into. This is what we've built up to, Phil. The Bears have no other avenue, no other way to go. It's going to be addressed. I thought that they were going to make a move last year, maybe in the second round. Everybody knows the story. I would have 100% pulled the trigger on Jalen Hurts, just because you have to have a guy with potential in there learning the ropes. Because, Phil, we forget this. The Bears went and made a push for Tom Brady. That tells you right there what they thought of Mitch overall,
exactly.
As a staff. And that those things get brushed to the side. And this isn't going to be a kill Mitch show or anything like that. I've turned the page with that. Mitch has potential. I was at the end of my rope with Mitch on the 4th down play. Now I know Chubbs went at me last night on Twitter with it, and
Orlovsky said it. My father and I broke that play down. If you're not a patron, there's another show, Shane.
Yeah.
Tonight is going to be about patronage. Why? Quarterback. Why?
Yeah.
1 hour show tonight. I wanted to address 2 things, though. That's why I said it. Sorry, Shane. You're 100% right. I'm going to say this is there anybody that that has been more neutral on Mitch than me, Shane? Honestly. No, I've always kept it 100 about this.
I think everybody on our network has been, Phil. I mean, we're not here just to say
but on the old network there were points where there wanted
but that's I'm not even gonna
and I never stopped.
Right. I'm not gonna
Mitch.
I don't even want to look back at that so much. It's just
keeping it 100.
It's what I said last night on Twitter, Phil. We're not going to pick a lane and stay in it and not be willing to veer off of it if things change or we see something that we didn't notice before. I've admitted where I've had mistakes, where I've done things wrong, where I've analyzed players wrong. Everybody has, everybody does. And if you promote yourself on Twitter that you're never wrong when it comes to draft or free agency or stuff like that, it's pretty simple. You're a fucking liar. I don't know how else to put it.
Exactly.
But the Bears die has been cast, Phil. Let's go head first into this because they got up there, the team president, the owner, Ryan Pace didn't say it so much, but we all know I think he wants to play more of the poker game like Matt Nagy does. The Bears, my philosophy is and always has been, since watching that presser, Phil, and we know how this season was going at the quarterback position, they're not going to come out and publicly say that Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy are at the ends of their ropes in terms of job security.
Right.
I think it's implied. I think that was probably made very well known. If they go out and go 4-12 next year, or the wheels totally fall off, I think that they're going to be gone. They want to see progress. To me, it's never made sense. And like I said, we'll get right into it, into the deep end of the pool right now, Phil, because these guys are on the end of their rope. They know what they have to do. They have to win. How you're going to invest multiple draft picks in future assets to move up for a rookie quarterback and tie your livelihood to that? Tell me how that makes sense when you're fighting for your job. It doesn't. This is the analytical way that you have to look at things. I've fallen into the trap, Phil. You have, we all have, as draft analysts, as fans of the Bears. They go out, oh, we drafted a wide receiver, 7th overall, Kevin White. Wide receiver spot's fixed. That's who we're moving forward with. Oh, here we go. You know what I mean? You're assuming that person is going to be at the minimum a contributor for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Doesn't always work out that way. Rookie quarterback is a complete crapshoot. So I'll throw up some things here just to show you guys what my point is in this. Okay. So 2016, you have the Titans and the Rams consummated a trade. The Rams were at 15th overall. They went all the way up to number 1 overall. They gave up the 15th pick. They gave up 2 second-rounders. They gave up a 3rd rounder. And then they gave up a 1st and a 3rd the next year, which would have been 2017. Mm-hmm. All for the rights to move up and get Jared Goff. Yes, they have been to the Super Bowl. Same exact year. Philadelphia Eagles moved up with the Cleveland Browns. Philly had made a previous trade that year, I believe, with was it Minnesota? Was that the same? Was that the same year? I believe it was. But anyways, Philly went from 8. Philadelphia gave up 1st round pick, 3rd round pick, 4th round pick, all in 2016. A 2017 1st round pick and a 2018 2nd round pick.
That was just from 8 to 1.
That's just from 8 to 1. To get to or 8 to 2 to get Wentz, because Wentz went number 2, Goff went number 1. Somebody in the chat, maybe they can figure it out. You're gonna invest. The Bears are at number 20. Okay, so even if you want to move up to number 9, there's been I saw a mock draft, I believe it was on Draft Network, that had Chicago trading up to number 9 for Trey Lance with Carolina. That was you giving up your 2021 first, your 2022 first, and your 2022 second to move up for Trey Lance. And it's a complete question mark.
Well, that's the point. Shane and I wanted to get in front of this because a lot of times keeping it 100.
Well, and it's already started, unfortunately.
Yeah. People take what we're saying and then they write stories, and I've said that, but we wanted to get in front of this. Is what we analyze. You know, this is what we do, the draft. It's not going to be covered like this. This is a pop-up show. We're going to be doing this on Patreon side. Obviously, keeping it 100, since you brought up the Draft Network, a perfect segue. Yep. This week on Wednesday night on Keeping It 100, we're going to have Paige DeMacos joining us she's the president and CEO. Maybe she has a shot to take over for Ted of the Draft Network. And she's going to be joining us. We're going to get into a lot of the draft stuff and a lot of your questions. I see you guys, throwing 100,000 questions at us all at the same moment. We're going to do live mock drafts with you here and go and breaking down that. And we got a lot of crazy stuff planned. If you haven't also seen X's with the O's, that'll continue with draft prospects, as well as a big look back at Bear players last season. Akeem Hicks, the Robert Quinn story, the narrative on it. We're going to break it down with the tape and show you the truth, not some blog boys writing. It's going to be the truth, the quarterback position, etc., etc. Tonight, though, we wanted to get out in front of this. Sorry to bring it back and forward. There was a segue in there. Shane and I talk on the regular. Shane said to me, Phil, think about this. Once they decided, whether you agree with it or not, all of us probably, I don't know anybody that agrees with keeping Ted and the structure the same. I don't know anybody. in Connecticut at Home Depot, Lowe's today, and a Packer fan. I can't believe you guys kept this guy. Exactly my point. Nobody can believe it, but it is what it is. We're going to break that shit down, barrel it, start a fucking we'll storm Hallis Hall with signs, whatever it is. Put it on the fucking, the highway, the L train, whatever it is. We're going to get the message to these guys, but the best way is the pocketbook. But we're also going to do this, a perspective on what Ryan Pace Nagy can do. And to Shane's point, if this is true,
one move.
There's only one move at quarterback that they can appease. Let me see. Any name. Pusha T, Alex H, and Brandon and Chris Cruz in the fucking Michael Imes. There's only one move, and it's trading for Deshaun Watson.
Attempting to. You have to.
Or attempting to.
And
That's the move that they're going to make to appease you and save themselves when they should have fucking drafted him, as you know me, back then. They're going to do this move. They're going to.
We're not saying that they're going to acquire him. They're going to go. Listen, when Phil says that this is going to be the move to appease everybody, it's not just us as analysts, us as fans, you as fans. It appeases Matt Nagy. It makes Ryan Pace look like a rock star once again. Ownership loves it because they get a bona fide quarterback in Chicago that's 25 years old and has proven that he plays pretty fucking good. And what does it do? Every single one of us, as soon as the trade is made, is going to be like, ooh, we watched that show with Shane and Phil and they told us not to buy swag for the Bears. I'll buy a fucking Watson jersey that fucking day. They consummate the trade. That's going to make ownership happy. And yes, you are mortgaging your future. You're also mortgaging your future just like we talked about. Right here with Carson Wentz. Right here with Jared Goff. So what does that prove? It points to Deshaun Watson. And yes, can the Bears make the best offer? No, they can't. Because Houston, if they go to Miami, listen, this is the way these big trades work. It's why Denver made a deal with Chicago, because Chicago was in the NFC, Denver was in the AFC. Houston does not want to face Deshaun Watson and have him in their conference where they're going to be playing more often, all of that. These big-time deals like this, you saw it with Khalil Mack. It's the same type of deal. They get shipped to the other conference. Miami can trump anybody. They really can, because if Houston can't sleep at night and wants Tua, that's the fucking golden egg right there. They could get Tua back in a trade, a young quarterback, along with a boatload of draft picks. I just don't think that they're... Phil, I'm an Alabama fan. I'm not a big Tua fan. That's on record. I would never have drafted him in the top 5. Never. He was hurt in high school. He was hurt in college. He's been dinged up in the NFL. That shit does not get better as a professional quarterback, and it's going to continue to hamper the kid.
This is the only way that you're going to save face with George and Ted. You heard in the open there. You go on my page, watch George fit Ted in there as a leader. They are at rock bottom. Rex Ryan's destroying you. Louis Riddick goes on the radio. Sylvie's killing you. Everybody in town, everybody around the world knows you should have fired and cleaned house. But Ted Phillips has an unwritten rule that he can't be fired.
Oh yeah, it's not. He's gonna walk. He's gonna walk out the door when he's ready.
No one's saying.
Yeah.
I saw someone in there. No one's saying they're gonna fire Phillips. They can't. He's been here forever. That's the consistency that's so inconsistent. But he's gonna walk out the door someday, and with pressure, it happens. That's why I'm asking you to step up. But the point here, in football terms, with all of these outside voices and national media. It's going way beyond when the guy in Connecticut who's a Packer fan at Lowe's is saying it. Everybody knows it.
Right.
Nagy should be gone. He should be fine. Pace should be gone. How many swings are you getting? They kept it. They kept it. So now what do? It's called bait and switch. It's mirage. We're going to say this. Just like you heard collaboration, what do you think Nagy sold them on? Well, back then, when I was doing it against Ryan, what I thought was Mahomes was a generational talent, and I really loved Deshaun Watson. So if we can get Watson here, he's my kind of guy, and he's young, and what he wants out of there. And that's the salesman voice for what is being told to these fucking morons. So that's what's going to be sold to you. And they're going to mortgage everything. They're going to. Doesn't mean it's going to happen.
Yeah, no, they're going to make it. They're 100% going to make an attempt.
To a corner.
Right. And
Phil, you're right. AFC versus NFC.
It's a factor. It's a 100% fact. And don't forget, I'll address Gaines' comment here because it's important.
It's up. So
well, yeah, I'll just address it right now so we can do it. You want to trade for Watson and then crap the O-line, and they're not going to protect any. That can happen with a good offensive line, first off. And this offensive line had its warts, and they started to play better, and they still got to the playoffs. I'm never going to dismiss trying to get it.
Offensive line, offensive tackle in 6 years.
Well, but Phil, you can't.
Another quarterback.
Phil, what trumps an offensive lineman?
Quarterback.
Every time, and that's what it comes down to. And there's a bigger wild card to all of this than AFC versus NFC. Desperation trumps all of it. San Francisco's GM's not desperate.
Don't say never. I love when people. It's never going to happen. Did you think Khalil Mack was going to happen? No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
He does have a no trade clause. He does have a no trade clause, and if he doesn't want to come to Chicago, then that's going to kill.
He already wants Chicago. I've been told by 2 people that are very close.
Listen, If you come,
don't fucking get it twisted.
If you come to Chicago as a big time quarterback, with the proper attitude, you can own the fucking town. Mm-hmm. Jay Cutler had that ability. He didn't have the fucking know-how or the want to upstairs to figure it out that he could have fucking owned this place. That's what it is. Deshaun has the cachet.
You're right.
Yeah, it is. It is the bear way.
I'm not going to say no to Chicago, guys. I'm telling you. This is very reliable source. Trust me when I tell you. Houston is trading Watson. It is beyond resolution over there, that relationship. It's like a marriage with a psycho ex-wife. It ain't getting fixed. I don't bring in the fucking, what was her name? The sex doctor, Dr. Ruth, ain't fixing any relationship there. When it's broke, everybody, gun to my head, what do the Bears need to do, Shane? They got to fix the O-line. We all know that. But this is an organization based on politics and political schmarmy collaboration, regression, synergy, club dub, no accountability, but let's say it with the culture. Ted Phillips had the audacity to say the NFL envies our culture. He said that, not me. He said that. That's where they believe in them bullshit. They hate me over there. They listen. I know that. They can hate all they want, but the reality is we're not backing down. No one's going to stop us.
And
this culture sucks, Ted.
Another thing that people talk about is the no state income tax. The no state income tax, which is true. But the thing about it is, guys, if you hit in Chicago as a big time, Chicago's never had that talent at fucking quarterback. The endorsement dollars, everything. It's just he's gonna be wiping his ass with $1,000 bills if he wants to. If he hits, if he comes here.
A whole show could be done on that draft with Trubisky, Watson, Mahomes, Kaiser, and my boy Chad Kelly was in there. Who I forgot. I had Kelly 4th and Trubisky 5th to be perfectly. Someone corrected me with a screenshot of my top 5s. I didn't have a 5B though, Cars. I didn't have a 5B. But reality is, Chad Kelly I had over Trubisky. This is reality, guys.
Yeah.
We know. Don't tell me. I break down the fucking tape like nobody. You see it. I know.
Well,
that O-line sucks. They need 2 tackles, a guard. Bars ain't it. Your center. I know Barelissimo was championing him. I see him in the chat being one of the best. He fucking shit the bed like fucking Alfalfa and Spanky when they were fucking 7. He's not the answer unless he's got the potential, but obviously he's got to work on his body like James Daniels worked on his body. Those things have to be addressed. That's not what this show is about.
Right.
We're getting in front of this. Shane, who is the smartest man, let me just give, I'm not blowing smoke. Let me give a history. He called all of these free agents for the last 3 years. He was hitting them all the time. This is the one move based on desperation that this organization, they're calling, let me say this again, they're calling season ticket holders legitimately the next day after that embarrassing, condescending presser.
Phil, this is important here. Troy's got a good point, and I've heard this multiple times. Imagine trading multiple picks for a guy when you could have drafted him with your first pick. God, what a dumb organization. 100% agree, Troy. But you want to know what's even dumber? Is being dumb enough not to admit your mistake and be like, we could have drafted the guy, but we're not going to go after him now because that would be admitting failure. No, they admitted failure when they didn't give Mitch his 5th-year option. They will be admitting failure if they go and get Deshaun Watson and rectify the mistake. The bad part isn't admitting the mistake, right? Yeah. The bad part is being like, oh, we're not going to attempt to go get this kid because we're going to look like fools. If you have, you're going to overpay. You're going to overpay. The 20th pick doesn't help. That's set in stone.
How much? 20-something million guaranteed?
Right.
You're going to overpay. The reality is the cap can be manipulated. Let's not, but the cap, you can't fit Khalil Mack, Shane. We heard it because of the cap. They did it. It's going to be done.
And that's the thing. I saw like another
car. You're going to finance the you ain't paying $80,000 for a Beamer. You're paying fucking $359 a month. You're financing the shit. That's how you can manipulate. They're going to renegotiate Fuller. They're going to cut some players and free up space.
Listen.
They're going to put money in the future. That's how you got to do it because you got to. What are they going to do? Fucking Nick Foles next year? No. They have to make a huge motherfucking splash.
That's the only thing that saves their ass. That's it. That's it. There's no other move at quarterback that's going to be damn near a guarantee to save their job. It's going to save their job with ownership. It's going to save their face in terms of the fans, the way that the fans look at them. Because I'll tell you what, we're still going to be critical of Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy if Deshaun Watson was the quarterback. But 90% of the fan base is going to be like, oh, yeah, here we go, baby. We got Deshaun. And because, listen, you can fill your offensive line needs, Phil, with limited draft capital if your fucking quarterback is set in stone. If you don't have to worry about that position.
Listen,
it opens up a whole bunch of doors for you.
Even with shitty Leno, Mustafa, Alex Bars, who sucked, the whole thing. You know the story. You watched the tape, never lied. Even with that, Mitch had to make plays. He didn't. He could have made play. He didn't. He didn't make right decision. Even with the shitty line play. So what is the most important position in all of sports? The GM says it all the time, which, oh, by the way, he didn't keep his word. He doesn't draft one every year. But he is right about the sentence. Don't just don't speak about it. Be about it is what I say. It's the quarterback position. Does Aaron Rodgers cover a lot of warts?
He covers all the warts.
Does Deshaun Watson cover a lot of warts? Absolutely. Get Deshaun Watson in Chicago with these tight ends.
Address him, Phil.
James Dillon. You gotta go to
Facebook user. Go to.
We need to know your name. I love names.
Go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and accept, so we can see your fans. We can see your name when you're talking to us in the chat.
See how you see this Facebook user? We see that. We don't see like this Ryan Cox or Tony Moy. They'll probably franchise tag A-Rod and trade him for picks because they're not resigning here. They could do that. That's going to be something. That's an option you could do.
Well, I think you're going to see money shed on defense.
They could.
It's the only.
Shed. Akeem Hicks, Kyle Fuller, Khalil Mack's going to get an extension, free up $12 million.
Not Mack. Mack will get restructured. Fuller is the one that needs the extension.
Okay, restructured. He'll free up 11 or 8 million. All of these manipulations of the cap are going to happen because they're desperate. And yes, sometimes you get fleeced when you're desperate. But at the most important position in football, you can't say, "Well, we fucking should have had him, and then now we can't get him. Now we're going to look like dummies." No, they're scratching for their lives, as they should. What are you going to be happy with? You're going to be happy with Mitch returning? It ain't happening. That whole story, we're not here to bash Mitch. The story's ended, even with the sources. And I think Ian Rappaport maybe put it out. I thought someone sent me that. I mean, for me, it was a foregone conclusion. I said it on the show a fucking month ago. There is 0.0 chance. Do we still have that drop? That Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky can coexist anymore. There's no relationship there.
Gaines on this, I think you actually tweeted that out, or maybe it was on Facebook. Agree, he's not. But here's the difference, Gaines. There's always a different perspective to look on it. Yes, our guys didn't tackle well, but you know what? You have a quarterback that you can rely on to put points on the board. And that's going to let your defense be able to roam free. They're not going to be hopefully playing 12 yards off the fucking ball. When you're playing with a lead, it's a lot easier to play on defense.
All due respect, I don't agree at all with that kind of philosophy, because the most important position is the quarterback. You have to get that right. And to Shane's point, you can be mired in mediocrity because your quarterback can't score, can't be in games. So you see the mentality of players like Eddie Jackson and a culture that's supposed to be so superior to everybody else fall victim to laziness, loafing, and execution issues. So when you have a quarterback that's sparking over there, that's a fucking leader, that's Tom Brady saying, "Fuck you, everybody plays better." Trust me as a coach when I tell you, when you got a guy that can go the distance on any given play, not hopefully this drive we're gonna get it right. Hopefully we find our identity. That ain't happening. Deshaun Watson, listen, there's only fucking 12 of these types of players that could step onto the football field and take over. I knew when I watched this kid, his pedigree was something different. How Ryan Pace fucking fucked it up, that's a whole fucking book. That'll be written in 2028. We'll be looking back on why they kept Pace. This is his parachute. Watson covers warts. And let me tell you something about this defense. Go watch the Tape Never Lies on the Patreon Network and watch your defense play against the Saints and tell me they didn't play with passion, heart, and physicality. Yes, there's questions about Eddie Jackson, but you're missing Buster Screen, Jalen Johnson, and that makes an impact when you're going up against a Saints team.
Chubbs, do you think that so they have JJ Watt on defense. They don't have Khalil Mack. They don't have Roquan Smith. Eddie Jackson, you're going to hope that he bounces back. If Akeem Hicks is here, you're getting Eddie Goldman back. I think the Bears have a lot
last week.
I think the Bears have a lot more bullets on defense. And let's stop with they didn't give a fuck. They didn't give a fuck because of the quarterback. They didn't give a fuck because of ownership there. Because of the fucking racist remarks that the fucking owner made repeatedly. That was what it came down to. Right.
Coaching, firing, all the bullshit in there. You can't fucking smudge the fucking story. It's not going away.
And somebody brought, I don't know, it might have been Chubbs. I think I saw it someplace. Somebody talked about Danny Trevathan getting cut. That's not going to happen. Danny Trevathan's not going to get cut because of financial numbers. The way that his contract was structured, unfortunately, he's got like a $13 or a $14 million cap hit. And if you cut him, you lose $8 million from your cap. You're not gaining anything by cutting him. You're losing almost like $8.5 million.
Three guys played injured for the Chicago Bears defense all season long. Khalil Mack, Buster Screen, and who was the other one? Robert Quinn. Those three players. So before you go ham bone on Buster Screen, let me let you know, if you look at the tape, you see a guy playing with pride and passion. I remember, what was it, the Colts game? They fucking threw Phillip Rivers threw a perfect dime ball, and people are killing Buster Screen. Like, what else could you do? If you can't see the drop-off when Duke Shelley went out there as opposed to him, I don't know what to tell you. I'm a Buster Screen. You missed Eddie Goldman.
That being said, though, Phil, Screen is, in my book, everything that I've looked at, and I'm not basing anything on play.
Yeah.
I'm talking 100% financial here. He's gone.
You're gonna
100% gone.
What's his deal?
It's the guys that you got to look at. You're going to look at the tight end Jimmy Graham, Buster Screen, extend Fuller, trade Fuller, or cut Fuller, Akeem Hicks. Those are the guys.
And restructure Mac.
Well, they've already restructured from Mac a couple of times. They've restructured from Cody Whitehair to kick the can down the road. Understand 100% you can do that. But like I made the comment before, there's going to come a time where, Tony Soprano's bringing the bill. You're not kicking the can down the road anymore. But those
tackles, those guys could be cut. There's savings there.
Oh, yeah. Bobby Massey is gone, depending on what they do with Charles Leno. But I'll tell you what, say what you want to about Charles Leno. The Bears are not going to cut him until they have somebody in place that's
probably right.
going to take over. That's the way that works.
Anything. I can't understand how fucking Mike Burton goes to the Saints and plays better as a fullback than he's ever has here. But that's a culture thing. So
let me get the
all that money shit, all that shit.
That can be worked out. Listen,
that's gonna be worked out.
The Bears are never going to.
We're talking about tonight.
The Bears are not going to be able to consummate Deshaun Watson. So if they go to Houston and they get the draft capital, and it might cost you a young defender. You never know, because that 20th pick pushes you back quite a bit. So, and when I'm talking a young guy, you're going to probably lose it. The very good chance you're going to lose a guy like maybe Jalen Johnson in a deal.
You have to. I mean, I don't give a shit. You replace a corner. You got to get a quarterback. Anybody doubting Deshaun Watson's talent, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. He's playing with a team that took his best weapon out of the fucking equation, and he's trying to make fucking chicken salad out of chicken shit that he's around. And the whole culture. So again, I understand. Here's the other argument that we're going to get into. You're bringing him to the shoe salesman.
Right.
So the question then becomes, Shane, are you going to believe in Matt Nagy being so hindered by Mitch Trubisky to run his philosophy and what he wants to do. That becomes the big giant. So you get Deshaun Watson, and that becomes the unveiling of the truth. Was it Mitch Trubisky and Nick Foles who just couldn't do what it is you wanted to do, and then you get this young kid? That's going to be the story.
Well, it is the story. And listen, we're not. We're still going to hold Matt Nagy at 100% accountable for things. I know people were referring to the 4th and inches call in Kansas City yesterday and see this proves
that's the same play Matt Nagy runs.
Yeah,
they ran it.
Yeah.
Same fucking play, except they actually ran the rub where Jimmy Graham forgot. They ran dash pass on 4th down. I knew it was coming. I go, here comes dash. So it's going to be, it depends on who, I don't know. I can only speak for me. The player Deshaun Watson is two-time national champion, fucking courage under fire, better arm than Matt Leinart ever had, and the ability to be a big-time player in big-time moments. Those things we haven't seen. Now, Jay Cutler, Shane has said, had tremendous arm.
Everything that you wanted, he just didn't. And when I say he didn't.
What did Devin Hester? That was the indictment.
Yeah.
First time you really heard someone just distribute the truth. It was Devin Hester saying
walking down
Jay
the hallway.
Cutler was probably smartest, most talented quarterback I've ever been around. But he's a piece of shit person and leader. That matters in football.
It's
a team sport.
It shows you how flawed the team was. Devin Hester at one point was your #1 wide receiver. You have your quarterback who you've invested your future into walking down a hallway and not even acknowledging his existence.
I think to answer John Epic Lepic here, it's a play. It's not a fucking offensive philosophy. It's a play. I thought it was brilliant by Sean Payton to take what you did and execute it. That's coaching. You know what else is coaching, John? Putting fucking the right person that's going to finish the fucking play out there, not a guy that's out there throwing punches and shouldn't even be on the team. That's called culture on top. It's an equation. Your family, you can't just throw people out of your family, right? But when they start fucking up, you disown them. If they fucking go against the family, you get rid of them, right? They don't want that in your life. Guy's a drug dealer, putting your kids in danger. It's the same thing in football. You got to look at it as a family, a culture. Your locker room gets ruined by some fucking selfish-ass, punk-ass thug named Anthony Miller or Javon Wims. You set the fucking tone as a coach. Execute this or get the fuck out. That's how you coach football on every level. You might say it a little bit differently for a peewee kid. Execute it or you're not going to play this series. You'll play one play for mom and dad on the pop peewee level. But on the NFL level, that's why. So I don't give shit credit to Matt Nagy for designing a play. That's what he does. He just runs plays. It's not a culture. You know what would have been great? Putting Riley Ridley out there and him catching it. Then you could have seen a different game because, listen, the Bears were in that. Exactly. Exactly. Riley would have caught it.
I would ask this question to anybody that is against attempting to trade for Deshaun Watson. What is your answer that doesn't put Matt Nagy, Ryan Pace, that puts their job in jeopardy, that's going to be as sure of a thing as Deshaun Watson? Because if you're trading up for a rookie, you're either going to sit where you are and move up a few spots for a guy like Mac Jones and hope and pray that he becomes what you want, which is an enormous risk, or you're going to take all that draft capital we just talked about, move up for another unknown, and hope and pray that they work out, or you're going to take all that draft capital that we just talked about plus a little bit more and go get a sure thing. We'll look at in the chat. So somebody that doesn't want Watson here because of the expense, tell me what your answer at quarterback is. That's a legitimate shot.
Do you have the list? Shane.
Yeah, I'll put it up here. Well, this is just free agent. This is just going to be free agent. Yeah.
And then if you have somebody, again, this is a pop-up show right on the bottom of the screen, www.thetapeneverlies.com. There's, I think, 570 of you that are now patrons. We want to make sure you have some more there. Can you zoom in? Give it a command plus on your keyboard. Command plus it. See if it worked. Look at that. Draft Dr. Phil.
Can you see it there now better?
I can see it better even without my reading glasses, Shane.
Wow.
So you got Dak Prescott, Phillip Rivers, my boy Jacoby Brissett, who I am a big fan of. That's a guy without a trade that I'm interested in. We're going to get into that.
He's not saving anybody's jobs. That's the point.
Mitch Trubisky, we've talked about that he is gone. Fitzmagic, Tyrod Taylor, I like. AJ McCarron, Shane's boy from Alabama.
No, it was not my man. Well, I saw somebody in there say
Red River. We're going to get into all these quarterbacks this offseason and everything.
Right. And even I agree with Chubbs. Everybody keeps on saying, go. I do. It's a good point by him because everybody throws out Dak Prescott in there. Tell me why Dallas is just going to let him walk away. Why?
Exactly. And he's coming off a serious injury.
Right.
Coming off a serious.
The Jameis Winston.
Draft alignment. It's like a new song. Fuck a QB. Draft alignment.
If you go on YouTube, there's a cut up. There's a cut up of Drew Brees tapping Jameis Winston on the chest and saying, "This is your team now."
Yeah.
And Sean Payton came out and said that he's looking forward to working with Jameis Winston next year. So, to me, that's
one of those quarterbacks that go through that fucking system. You want to know what it was, John Epic? You want to know why Sean Payton is what he is? Look at your boy Teddy Bridgewater goes there and see the success. Then you see Jameis Winston. Oh, fuck. Mike Glennon. You see Mike Glennon in there. Nate Sudfeld. Well, Greg Gabriel's boy, Nathan Peterman.
Second rounder, you wanted to take him in.
Nathan Peterman. Matt Barkley, former USC Trojan. Cam Newton. Have you seen enough of Cam Newton's inaccuracy? And I don't even know what that.
No, Dak.
Shoulder.
Matt Kedro. No, Dak's a 4th round draft pick. He hasn't been paid yet.
Exactly.
That's why he was crying when he went off the sideline when he busted his ankle.
It's going to be.
I mean, the franchise. He got the 1-year deal. The day that Mitch Trubisky was the day that Mitch Trubisky was drafted, he was guaranteed $29 million. Day one, guaranteed in the bank, end of deal. He can go out and not play a snap. That money is his, guaranteed.
Fix the line, get a tackle, get Phillip Rivers. Joseph Jr. says.
You better fix that fucking line if you're going to go with Phillip.
Phillip was having troubles with the Colts line, one of the best in football, if not the best, right? So yeah, you're going to have to fight. That's the total truth. Listen,
are you tying? If you're Matt Nagy,
hold your question. I think it was Gaines again. Gaines is fired up in the chat. What if he comes here and he's average? That's the coaching issue. We've documented. No one in this network, I've said it for 3 years, that Matt Nagy's a shoe salesman. You're in the NFL in the charter franchise and you're learning on the job. You haven't found your identity in 3 years. You go in a playoff game and you're championing a loss saying we finally found our identity. It's David Montgomery. This is the kind of shit show you get with a shitty corporate, politically run football team. That's why we started the show the way we did. No more purchasing of Bears gear. None. I'm not going to buy one thing, not a pennant, not a hat, not a fucking anything. Everything I have is what I have. That's it. Buy Tape Never Lies Network swag. Wear that. Show your pride there. Get away from the Bears. Don't give them a cent. Let them know where it hurts in their fucking pocket. Because this coach sucks. You think he's going to all of a sudden turn around? He's got to hire a defensive coordinator now. Who is he going to fire, Shane? He's gonna fire somebody on offense. Is Juan's coming back or is Juan gone? Is Dave Ragone gone? Is he going to Atlanta? Is he going there with the new hire there?
Yeah, they think that he could be going there, and I mean, it's Ragone gone. Jay Rodgers could be heading
could be going.
Heading to the Chargers.
Best coach on our staff is Jay Rodgers. He's
saw
gone.
Sam Acho out there he was pubbing up Sean Desai, the safeties coach of the Bears, saying he's one of the brightest young coaches he's ever been around and totally deserves to be the defensive coordinator.
So you got a fucking 3-ring circus. You ready? Let me show you this with my hands. You got corporate Ted and George. You got Ryan Pace. Don't say he's giving up fucking draft capital like nothing. He's trading up for Anthony Miller. He's trading up for he traded for Khalil Mack. He traded for fucking Nick Foles. Don't tell me he's got the fucking Roxanne got the red light. He's got the fucking green light. Ryan Pace got the green light. He's got the green light. He's fucking gone. And then you got Nagy, the shoe salesman, the manipulator of truths. We like big plays. Let me give you one to remind you of what
big plays are nice. They're good.
Yeah, big plays are nice. They're good. It's all about plays. So no one's saying he's coming here. Deshaun Watson's going to take to Matt Nagy's coaching. You heard it in the open. Do we got to play that again, Shane? Rex Ryan, Louis Riddick, his boy. He should have been gone. He should have been gone. This is a travesty for the franchise. He's like, I love Matt Nagy, but you got to start over. It should have started over. Dan Orlovsky, Olin Kreutz, people that I respect. My father, Sam Rutigliano, fucking Larry Pasquale. Everybody I know that loves this game says you got to get rid of this coach. No one can believe it. But here we are. So no one's saying that Matt Nagy's going to somehow have Deshaun Watson. I'm separating this conversation, clearing it up, Shane. Shane and I are saying that business-wise, quote-unquote, CYA. Do you know what that means? Cover your ass-wise. They are going all in to get the name to hype the fan base up and trade draft capital and take that one last giant swing at this in order to save face, get fans to buy tickets again. Because even in this world, even though he doesn't have a patron subscription, right, Shane?
That's right.
Even Greg Braggs is questioning whether he's going to go to a fucking game and pay for a ticket.
Oh, he'll be there.
Sunshine.
He'll be there.
He'll only be there to cover his ass for his name of his show.
Right.
Look at me, I'm in the stand, everybody. Exactly. The circus is in town. Our boy, look. Yo, what's up? Listen.
Smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
We got 4 or 5 more minutes here on this pop-up quarterback quandary show, where really we wanted to get out in front of this and show you before the whole narrative becomes stolen and there's no other option. You're on Fleet Street. That's where you're going, Claudio. No, the reality is the Chicago Bears are going to have to pay over whatever blog boys think ×2. It doesn't fucking matter to them right now. It's all about getting that position right, selling that, but really it's about saving face and covering your ass. We're going to break down what we believe they should do. Obviously, the draft stuff. We're going to have Paige DeMacos joining us on Keeping It 100 this week.
That's what she said, Claude.
We're going to be breaking this down all off season, but we wanted to pop on, give you a whole mess of info to really direct you that we believe in unison. Obviously, I have my opinions about the draft prospects. We're going to break that down by using the tape and showing you all of that stuff. The show is an hour-long show tonight. We're going to go 5 minutes over, Shane, only because just want to answer
Rubes is pissed. Is the show over already? Yeah, it's a pop-up show. It's not 100 proof.
This is just a showcase, really, for you fans that have not, like Greg, gone to the TapeNeverLies.com.
This is Phil's catchphrase show.
Real quick show tonight. Obviously, we're going to be on Wednesday night at same bat time, same bat channel, Keeping It 100 on the Tape Never Lies Network, sponsored by Shy City Sports this Wednesday with Paige DeMacos. We're going to be repeating some of this stuff. Obviously, there's a bunch of stuff to talk about, more of an open and everything like that, but we wanted to get out in front of this. Deshaun Watson put the Shane and Phil stamp of approval on this and really get it out there, obviously, before Shane's boy, Eric Lambert, writes a whole story.
Just wait till tomorrow. Breaking news, Bears fans.
We love all of you guys. We'll answer a few questions right now. I'm all in on Mac Jones, and so is Shane. We've said this during the season, well before, and cars. It's never happened, for the record. Alex Acevedo is going to have to clip this. Shane, Phil, and Matt Karstensen have never... That's right. Bears nerd have never agreed on a prospect before until this year in October, when we all DM'd each other at the same time and we're all in unison about Mac Jones. That's where we are. Again, a lot of people have caught up, but if you guys listen, I'll say this because I see my boy Chris Jackal. I never look at colleges to define players. That's fool's gold. You can't go all Penn State backs. You got to avoid them. Then you miss out on a Saquon Barkley, a Larry Jones. That's not how you do it. You got to look at the player. And I'll say my piece, and you can add yours. The thing I love so much about Mac Jones, Shane, is not only his intelligence, but his fucking complete, utter accuracy and his mechanics. You talk about that follow through, watch his back leg. We're going to break all of that down and show you. I'll put Mitch and him side by side to give
Seth, tweet that out to me about the Notre Dame quarterback, and I will address it on Dumbest Tweets.
He wouldn't even be drafted by me. Maybe in the 5th round, I would. Ian Book. He has some traits that I like, but
yeah,
he's a guy that you want to develop. He's going to take a lot of time. He's not an NFL ready quarterback. Mac Jones, to me, accuracy, a lot of intangibles. You can't teach that kind of accuracy.
You want to get excited about Mac Jones, and I understand there's a lot of deep balls that aren't contested. There's deep balls that are contested. Just watch. He's made a couple of throws that we're going to put up there. I have no idea how he got the ball where it went. And that's a separator. That's something that Mitch had his moments. Mitch's deep ball, we played the clip from John Gruden back when he was in college. Mitch was so inconsistent.
Inside. That's what she likes. But yeah, we're going to break down the draft like nobody else. We're going to have guests on, and you guys that are patrons as well as fans and subscribers to our channel. We're going to bring you guys on. That's what we like. Your voice as well. Your voice matters. That's why we bring you guys up. I don't know who he's talking about. So is he Mitch 2.0? Is he talking about Mac?
I have no idea, but Factor, you don't trust me after last draft with quarterbacks because I was a Kaiser fan? That's okay. Cool.
That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Who was your quarterback last year?
The Factor likes to drop in here. He's the Phil. Tell me about your rap career guy.
That guy
trying to get his dick tugged in the chat room.
There's always one troll. Come on, the Factor one. You're the Factor 0 if you're gonna act like that. I'm just a big fan of Mac Jones on the tape, and that's what this network stands for. The tape never lies. And Shane's last year's pick was all in on Jalen Hurst in the second round.
Hurts, yeah. I would have drafted him 100%. Yeah,
so would I. I think you always got to pick a quarterback every year. In fact, if they don't get Watson and they go a different route, they sign my boy Dave, and they need to draft 2 quarterbacks. You gotta go. You can't go Tyler Bray. You got to be teaching. You got to learn. His
practice squad contract ran out, and he wasn't.
Let me answer a few questions to you guys. Do you think we will have to trade up for Mac Jones? I honestly do. I think by that time, the whole perspective on the quarterbacks and everything. Listen, somebody was putting his body type. Remember, that was his freshman year.
Yeah, when he was like a 4th string quarterback behind Tua, behind Jalen Hurts. And yeah, I mean, they had another guy there too at the time. And that's whatever. Did anybody see Tom Brady's combine photo?
Look at Tom Brady's combine photo. The quarterback position and any position you can fix. If there's one thing you can fix is your body. You can't fix this up here. You could try to learn and process, but at the end of the day, this is where Mitch struggled in Matt Nagy's offense. Maybe everybody would. That's going to be answer 2. I'm a big fan of Carr, David Carr. I love David Carr. That could be a trade too.
But again, why is Vegas trading him? Who's their answer? Is it Mariota? Or do they believe in him?
Mariota. They might like Mariota.
But that's the thing. They have to have
We're going to go every avenue to do this.
Right.
So that would be a great Derek Carr. Did I say David? I meant Derek. Thank you, Jeff. I know your boy Cars isn't on tonight, but he will be. Derek Carr, because if I don't have Jeff, I'll have a troll correcting me. So yeah, Derek Carr is somebody that has somebody behind him, so that becomes a conversation as a GM. If you don't do that, you're not doing your job. So he's somebody I like, Derek Carr. I also like David Carr. I thought he got destroyed because the offensive line, oh, by the way, sucked in Houston. Houston, we seem to have a problem. Same with the Bears. You don't invest in the offensive line. Houston does finally. They're going to have to clean it up. Obviously, there's so much going on in Houston. It just makes the understanding of just how good Watson is, for me, even more highlighted based on that environment, culture, and taking away maybe the best target in all of football and trading him for nothing. There's Tom Brady's body. 6'4". I can't see how much he weighed there. What was his weight? 211. 211. Ivan knows. David Carr never had a real good chance. When he was with the Giants, he got in there. I loved the way he played, and then he retired. I was like, oh, get this kid. I don't think they're going to trade Matt Stafford now. Do you, Shane?
I don't think they're going to trade him in the division.
Trade him in the
ever.
Imagine them trading him.
That's the key. That's a key that nobody mentions is that when these big time trades go down, they're going cross conference, not within. Yeah, sometimes it happens, but it's going to be Houston is going to want no part of seeing Deshaun Watson.
I said we stay on for 5 minutes. We've gone 9 minutes, but this is what we do here. You guys are asking great questions. Shane, you said it about Darnold, but since they hired Saleh, the whole perspective on the culture with the Jets has changed. So now Saleh sees the solid as a rock possibility there. That piece of coal that you put pressure on becomes a diamond. So I think they're going to hold on to Matt Darnold. That's the word I'm getting. Are you feeling the same thing since they made that coaching change?
Yeah, they've talked about it, that he's got Adam Schefter said he 100% believes that Sam Darnold will be a Jet in 2021.
So there you go. When Adam Schefter says it, forget it. There you go. Anyway, I think we've covered it tonight. Listen, if you haven't, go over to thetapeneverlies.com, become a patron subscriber. You're going to get all these pop-up shows like tonight. We went live here everywhere to show you. This was just like a preseason show of you. We're going to jump on, go live. We had over 300 of you joining in the chat, jumping in the show with us like LC Moses.
Right.
I think Darnold is a player, and we do. I think they're going to stick with Darnold. I wanted Darnold with Shane. That was a nice move too. There are options there, like Ryan Cox said, maybe Derek Carr. But the first and foremost move they are going to make is to Deshaun Watson, to save face, to CYA. Remember that. Cover your ass. And that's the reality. I'm subscribing to Patreon for 2 months for the draft. Well, hopefully you get more than that. We can't see you, Shane. Can you tell this guy again? This one?
Yeah, Facebook user, you need to head over to www.streamyard.com/Facebook. This is the 1100th time in the past 90 days that we've talked about this. And you have to accept the terms. It's okay. I know some people are a little bit slower on the uptake. That's what we're here. We're here to help you. Just www.streamyard.com/Facebook. Click yes, accept the terms, and then we can see your comments. Like Claudio asking for Heineke, and that's if he was on the show, we would put him into the background real quick.
We'd put him on a timeout for that. Anyway, tonight was a fun night.
But this Phil, real quick, to use your moniker, these pop-up shows aren't going to be open to everybody. We wanted to show you guys exactly what these are. And if you're not a patron, you're not going to have access to these. So like Phil was talking about, head over to www.thetapeneverlies.com, sign up. It's going to charge you $7 each and every month, but you're not going to find any better coverage out there than what we're going to supply you here. Phil, Cars, myself, Claudio is going to chip in with his draft prognostications, which should be fun.
Go the opposite.
Yeah.
We're going to have plenty of guests. A lot of people in the business, a couple agents have committed to me that they're going to come on and talk about the draft and the draft prospects. We always have prospects, prospective draft prospects coming on the show. And obviously your regular cast of characters, but also you guys, you the fans. We want you. We're going to have patron-only shows where each of you 10 minutes speaking on it, talking about it, getting after it.
We'll do another prop thing too, Phil, because we're at 576 right now. So
576.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a show with lucky number 499 and number 600. They can come on to it. But whoever number 600 is, you can come on to a draft show and you can stay here with Phil and I the entire show if you want. We'll chop it up. We'll ask you questions. You can ask as many questions as you want. So whoever number 600 is, you'll have that added benefit.
There you go. Whoever 600 is. Also, a couple other things. X's with the O's. That's another patron show. That is me and my father taking 6 plays and breaking it down. In the off season, we're going to do draft prospects, 6 plays, breaking down the X's and O's. If you're a patron, if you're in the chat, just tell people, let them know how cool that show is. Obviously, we're learning as we're going. Shane got this whiteboard on top of it that we're going to experiment with.
It's a digital whiteboard, yeah. So it's
you
not
guys,
coach isn't going to have a Sharpie drawing plays up.
My wife was like, your dad drawing it on the pad.
But we have a little update from Phil. We have a little promo with Coach here. We'll run. Take that comment down and we'll play it for everybody.
Let's run it. Hold it. I don't have it.
Two things I taught my son and all my children. You always surround yourself with good people, and the tape never lies.
Tell him,
there
Coach.
You go. Coach, my dad, 80 years old, Hall of Fame high school football coach here in Connecticut. He comes on. We have a lot of fun with my dad. You've seen him on BHL. He loves doing this now, so he's all excited about it. We're also, real quick, on X's and O's, we're going to start taking Bears and focusing on them. Like, we're going to just do a whole show on Sam Mustipher. And we're going to fucking just have my dad and I breaking down Sam Mustipher, Bars, Robert Quinn, Roquan Smith. You get the story. And Shane and I are going to be doing some similar stuff like that too. So get after it. We're going to have a lot of coaches. We call it a coaches clinic on the network. And like Shane said, we don't have a name for our draft shows yet.
We will.
But we will. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And we'll do mock drafts with you guys where I'll take 30 patrons and they become the GM of each team. But I'll vet them, Shane, because I don't want any fucking poll boys that just aren't taking it seriously. And
smoke weed every day. Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. How do I find my patron number? Reach out to Shane. He is the patron number.
Head over to Patreon and drop me a message over there, and I'll take care of it for you.
All right. So last thing, Wednesday night, keeping it 100 with Paige DeMacos.
Claude.
It's going to be fun. My father, Coach Leno, talking about Charles Leno and Leno.
Let him rip.
Let him rip. We have an outro, don't we, tonight? Anyway, this is Shane. Do you have a final thought, or we're good?
No, we love this. We want the Bears to be playing, but if they can't be playing, this is the stuff that we love to talk about. It's the NFL off season, and we're gonna have it all here covered for you guys. It's gonna be fun. Don't forget. Listen, you're not locked in. If you go over to Patreon and you find that it's too expensive, the $7 a month, you come over, try it out for a month. I think if you try it out, you're gonna love everything that you see. You're not tied in. We're beyond the price point lock-in, which ended on December 31st. But give us a chance. Try it out for a month, and if it's something that you don't like, then you can unsubscribe, and you're out $7. But we feel like you head to a bookstore and buy a draft magazine. They're
$13.99.
Yeah, they're like $13.
$14.99.
Yeah, and it's all outdated info, and we're gonna be, there's gonna be some weeks, Phil, where we might do shows multiple times in a day.
Exactly.
Shorter shows, especially around the draft, because we go crazy for the draft.
Like the Jerky Boy, man. Hello, we go crazy over here. The schedule: Wednesday nights, keeping it 100. Everything else is going to be on the patron side for now. Obviously, Bears Hour Live. We might do the playoff version of the Bears Hour Live, and that's really it. We're deciding that in the off season though, or we're going to keep it regularly like we always do. But those are really in the off season. Patron and keeping it 100 will be there every week Wednesday night. So Anything else, Shane, before we sign off tonight?
No, it was a fun show. Of course, we
Best
wanted to do an
$7
hour.
he's ever spent, buddy. Best 7. We went an hour and 20. See that?
Yeah, and if you don't do it, we're gonna send Matt Beyer over to your house.
Yeah,
We've seen that dude. And
Matt Byers, no one they want to fuck with.
Yeah,
Tell you that.
He pulled his tooth out live on air that night. We talked to him. Remember? He's like, "I'm gonna fuck everybody up."
If you want to see this, obviously this will be uploaded to the YouTube channel. It's being broadcasted all over, and every show that we do is broadcasted on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Twitter Live is not going to be Periscope anymore, right? Is it done?
Periscope is going to be ending. I think
So
it's
it'll be
March 31st.
back to Twitter Live.
Yeah, it's just going to go to
After
Twitter.
that.
But yeah, Periscope won't even exist.
So right now we're on Periscope for now, and obviously Facebook and YouTube. So things are going and getting bigger. I gotta say goodnight. I'm gonna go hang out with the wife, watch a nice show.
Things
on
are getting bigger.
Yeah, things might rise like the bread, like dough. Anyway, I'll end it with my dad. You guys have a great night. If you need to, don't hesitate to DM me. You have any questions? This was a pop-up show, the QB Quandary on the Tape Never Lies Network.
2 things I taught my son and all my children. You always surround yourself with good people, and the tape never lies.